Have you ever found yourself feeling a little more tired than usual? A bit more breathless climbing those stairs? Or just wondering if your heart is truly as strong as it used to be? It's a common worry as we gracefully step into our 60s and beyond. We try our best to eat well, to stay active, to do all the right things for our health. We pick vegetables, thinking we're making the healthiest choices, believing every green leaf or root is a guaranteed path to vitality. But what if I told you that some of the very foods you believe are fortifying your heart could, in certain forms or circumstances, actually be slowly working against it? It's a painful reality to consider, that our best intentions might be inadvertently causing harm. What if the very things we're trying to do right are actually sabotaging our efforts to maintain a strong, healthy heart? It's a truth not many are talking about openly, but it's crucial for our long-term well-being, especially when it comes to the powerhouse organ that keeps us going every single day. Today, we're going to gently, but honestly, uncover 5 specific vegetables, or more accurately, the ways we commonly prepare and consume them, that could be silently, subtly damaging your heart without you even realizing it. This isn't about cutting out whole food groups entirely, but about making smarter choices that empower you. We'll look at how simple shifts in your diet can truly make a difference in protecting your cardiovascular health. So, please, stay with me until the very end, because what I'm about to share might completely change how you look at your plate and could genuinely surprise you with how easily you can safeguard your heart for years to come. Let's begin our journey by looking at something many of us consider a comfort food, often found on our dinner plates or as a quick snack, the humble potato. Now, before you start thinking, I'm going to tell you to banish all potatoes from your life. Let's be clear. A plain, baked, or boiled potato, in moderation, can be a part of a healthy diet. It's packed with potassium, which is excellent for blood pressure, and has some good fiber. However, the problem arises, and the potential heart damage begins, when we transform this wholesome root vegetable into something entirely different. I'm talking about fried potatoes in all their forms, crispy French fries, crunchy potato chips, and even those hash browns sizzling in unhealthy oils. When potatoes are deep fried, they absorb a significant amount of unhealthy fats, particularly trans fats and saturated fats, depending on the oil used. These fats are notorious for raising your LDL cholesterol, that's the bad cholesterol, and lowering your HDL, the good cholesterol. This unhealthy shift directly contributes to plaque buildup in your arteries, leading to atherosclerosis, a hardening and narrowing of the arteries that forces your heart to work much harder to pump blood, significantly increasing your risk of heart attack and stroke. Beyond just the fats, the high heat used in frying creates harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These aren't just a fancy science term. AGEs contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. Imagine constant little fires burning inside your arteries. That's what chronic inflammation does. Over time, this chronic inflammation can directly damage the delicate lining of your blood vessels, making them stiff and less efficient, which puts immense strain on your heart. Think about your arteries like flexible garden hoses. Inflammation makes them rigid and constricted, impeding the smooth flow of water, or in this case, blood. And let's not forget the glycemic load. When potatoes are fried, their starches are rapidly converted to sugars, causing a sharp spike in your blood sugar levels. Consistent spikes, especially for those who are pre-diabetic or have insulin resistance, can lead to further inflammation and damage to blood vessels over time. So, the simple act of frying transforms a potentially healthy food into a significant heart hazard. The good news is, you don't have to give up potatoes entirely. Instead of frying, consider baking them, air frying with a touch of olive oil, or boiling and mashing them with herbs and a splash of milk. These methods keep the heart-healthy benefits without the damaging drawbacks. It's about being mindful of how we prepare our food, isn't it? Now, let's smoothly move on to our second vegetable, or rather, a group of products derived from it that can be surprisingly detrimental to your heart health: corn, specifically in its processed forms, just like with potatoes. Whole, fresh corn on the cob, enjoyed in moderation, can offer some fiber and antioxidants. It's when corn undergoes heavy processing that it becomes a silent threat. I'm primarily referring to high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS, which is a sweetener made from cornstarch and is pervasive in countless processed foods and beverages, from sodas and fruit juices to breakfast cereals and baked goods. While not technically a vegetable when in this form, its origin from corn makes it relevant to our discussion of common corn-based dangers. The rapid absorption of fructose from HFCS can overwhelm your liver, leading to increased production of triglycerides, a type of fat in your blood that, at high levels, significantly increases your risk of heart disease. It can also contribute to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, both of which are major risk factors for heart conditions. Think about how much HFCS is hidden in everyday items. It's not just in sugary drinks, it's in salad dressings, condiments, and even some supposedly healthy snack bars. This constant bombardment of refined sugars, disguised in various forms, creates a chronic inflammatory state in the body and puts undue stress on your cardiovascular system. Beyond HFCS, consider corn oil, another widespread corn-derived product. While it's often marketed as a vegetable oil, corn oil is high in omega-6 fatty acids. While we need omega-6, the problem in the typical Western diet is the imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. Too much omega-6 without enough omega-3 to balance it out promotes inflammation throughout the body, including in your arteries. This inflammatory environment, over time, can contribute to the development of atherosclerosis and other heart problems. Furthermore, much of the corn grown today is genetically modified and heavily sprayed with pesticides. While the direct link to heart damage from these specific residues is still being researched, the overall impact of a diet heavy in highly processed, chemically treated foods can contribute to systemic inflammation and poor gut health, both of which are increasingly linked to cardiovascular well-being. So, the key here isn't to fear a fresh ear of corn during summer, but to become a detective when you're in the grocery store. Turn those packages around, read the ingredient lists, and actively seek out products that are free from high fructose corn syrup and excessive amounts of corn oil. Opt for whole, unprocessed foods as much as possible. And when you do use oils, choose healthier options like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. Small changes in ingredient awareness can make a massive difference for your heart. Now that we've discussed how seemingly innocent potatoes and corn can turn problematic in their processed forms, let's move on to our third and fourth categories of vegetables that demand a closer look for your heart health. First up in this section are canned vegetables, particularly those laden with added sodium. Many of us reach for canned goods for their convenience, and they seem like a sensible choice when fresh produce isn't readily available or affordable. They're quick, easy to store, and often perceived as just as good as fresh. However, the preservation process for many canned vegetables often involves a significant amount of added salt. This isn't just a pinch. We're talking about hundreds of milligrams of sodium per serving, which can quickly add up throughout your day. The problem with excessive sodium intake is its direct and well-established link to high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. When you consume too much sodium, your body retains more water, which increases the volume of blood in your arteries. Think of it like a plumbing system. More liquid in the pipes means higher pressure. Over time, this persistently high blood pressure puts an enormous strain on your heart and damages your arteries. Your heart has to work much harder to pump blood against this elevated pressure, which can lead to a thickening of the heart muscle and, eventually, heart failure. The constant stress on your arteries can also make them stiffer and less elastic, increasing your risk of heart attack, stroke, and kidney disease. It's a silent, insidious threat because high blood pressure often has no obvious symptoms until it's already caused significant damage. While some canned vegetables now offer no salt-added versions, many traditional options are still swimming in sodium. Even rinsing canned vegetables like beans or corn can help reduce some of the sodium, but it doesn't eliminate it entirely. A better alternative is to opt for fresh vegetables whenever possible, or frozen vegetables without added sauces or salt. Frozen vegetables are picked at their peak ripeness and flash frozen, locking in their nutrients without the need for excessive sodium. So, while canned vegetables seem convenient, their high sodium content can be a quiet assailant on your heart health, making fresh or plainly frozen options a much safer and healthier bet. Moving on to our fourth category, we're going to discuss leafy greens like spinach and kale. Now, Before anyone gasps, let me be absolutely clear. Spinach and kale are nutritional powerhouses. They are packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are incredibly beneficial for overall health, including heart health. They contain nitrates that can help lower blood pressure, and plenty of fiber. However, there are specific circumstances and considerations where consuming large quantities of these otherwise wonderful vegetables can pose an issue for certain individuals, indirectly impacting their cardiovascular health. The first crucial point is for anyone taking blood-thinning medication, specifically warfarin, often known by its brand name, Coumadin. Leafy greens like spinach and kale are exceptionally high in vitamin K. Vitamin K plays a vital role in blood clotting, and it can directly interfere with the effectiveness of warfarin, which works by blocking vitamin K. If you're on warfarin, a sudden increase or decrease in your vitamin K intake can make your medication less effective, putting you at risk of dangerous blood clots, or conversely, too effective, leading to excessive bleeding. This isn't about avoiding these greens entirely, but about maintaining a consistent intake so your doctor can adjust your medication dosage accordingly. Any significant change should always be discussed with your healthcare provider. It's about balance and communication with your doctor, not elimination. The second consideration for spinach and kale, and other high oxalate foods like beets and rhubarb, relates to oxalate content. Oxalates are natural compounds found in many plants, and while generally harmless for most, in susceptible individuals, they can combine with calcium in the kidneys to form calcium oxalate stones, which are the most common type of kidney stone. While kidney stones themselves aren't a direct heart problem, chronic kidney issues or recurrent stone formation can contribute to overall systemic inflammation and put stress on your body's systems, including the cardiovascular system. Additionally, some research suggests a potential link between high oxalate intake and calcification in arteries. Though this area needs more research, for the average person, consuming these greens cooked can reduce oxalate content. For those with a history of kidney stones, especially calcium oxalate stones, it's wise to be mindful of very high consumption of raw, high oxalate greens and discuss dietary modifications with a doctor or dietitian. So, while spinach and kale are incredibly healthy for most, it's vital to understand individual circumstances, especially medication interactions or specific health predispositions, to ensure these greens truly serve your heart health and don't inadvertently cause problems. It's all about informed choices, tailored to your unique body. Finally, we arrive at our fifth category, one that might genuinely surprise you, as it often masquerades as the epitome of health commercially prepared vegetable juices and smoothies. We're often told to drink our greens or blend up a quick vegetable juice for a boost. And indeed, freshly made. Whole vegetable juices or smoothies crafted at home with careful attention to ingredients can be incredibly beneficial, packing in a concentrated dose of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. However, the danger to your heart comes from many store-bought, pre-packaged vegetable juices and even some commercially available smoothies. The primary culprit here is hidden sugars, to make these vegetable-heavy drinks more palatable for the mass market. Manufacturers frequently add significant amounts of fruit juice, concentrates, artificial sweeteners, or outright added sugars like cane sugar, corn syrup, or even honey, which, while natural, is still sugar when consumed in excess. Think about it, a seemingly innocent green juice might contain as much sugar as a can of soda, negating many of the health benefits of the vegetables themselves. This high sugar content leads to the same problems we discussed with high fructose corn syrup, rapid blood sugar spikes, increased triglyceride levels, inflammation, and an elevated risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. All direct pathways to heart disease. Your heart doesn't differentiate between sugar from a candy bar and sugar from a healthy juice. It processes it all the same way, and excessive amounts are damaging. Another issue with many commercial juices is the lack of fiber. When vegetables are juiced, most of their beneficial fiber is removed. Fiber is crucial for heart health. It helps regulate blood sugar, lowers cholesterol, and promotes a healthy gut microbiome, which is increasingly linked to cardiovascular well-being. Without fiber, The natural sugars in even healthy vegetables hit your bloodstream much faster, leading to that undesirable sugar spike, while smoothies often retain more fiber than juices. Many store-bought versions still load up on sugary fruits, added syrups, and other caloric-dense ingredients that can contribute to weight gain, which itself is a risk factor for heart disease. Furthermore, the processing methods for some bottled juices, including pasteurization, can reduce the potency of certain heat-sensitive vitamins and enzymes, diminishing some of the very benefits you're seeking. So, while the idea of a quick or ready-to-drink vegetable boost is appealing, it's absolutely critical to be a label sleuth. Check for added sugars, fruit juice concentrates, and low-fiber content. The best approach for maximizing heart health from vegetable juices and smoothies is to make them yourself at home. Using whole vegetables. A small amount of whole fruit, if desired. And no added sugars. This way, you control every ingredient and ensure you're truly giving your heart the nourishment it deserves, without any hidden pitfalls. So, we've covered quite a bit today, haven't we? We've explored how what seems like a healthy choice can, in certain forms, quietly impact your heart, from the innocent potato transformed into heart-harming fried chips, to the hidden sugars and unbalanced fats in processed corn products. We've looked at the sneaky sodium lurking in many canned vegetables, and considered the specific, important interactions that powerful greens like spinach and kale can have for those on certain medications or with particular health conditions. And finally, we uncovered the surprising sugar bombs often disguised as healthy in commercially prepared vegetable juices and smoothies. It might feel a little overwhelming to consider all these nuances, but please, don't let it discourage you. The truth is, awareness is the first and most powerful step towards better health. This isn't about deprivation or completely eliminating entire categories of food. It's about empowerment. Empowering yourself with knowledge to make informed, heart-smart choices every single day. Remember, small, consistent changes truly add up to make a monumental difference over time. Instead of fearing vegetables, we're learning how to prepare them wisely, how to read labels critically, and how to tailor our diets to our unique needs, especially as we get a little older and our bodies evolve. Your heart is a magnificent, resilient organ, and it responds beautifully to the care you give it. By being mindful of these 5 areas, you're not just avoiding potential harm. You're actively investing in its long-term strength and vitality. I genuinely hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights and actionable steps to protect your incredible heart. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you made changes to how you prepare these vegetables? Or have you noticed a difference by being more mindful of hidden ingredients? Please share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your wisdom might just help someone else on their journey to better health. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who can benefit from this kind of content. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. We're constantly sharing practical, encouraging advice to help you live your most vibrant, fulfilling life at every age. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Keep nurturing your heart. Keep making those informed choices. And remember, you absolutely can live your best life with a strong, healthy heart at every age.